Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Maggie, and today is Thanksgiving. I have decided to take today and the next few days to dedicate them to making the viral 6-day star blanket. Now, I know that many of you have probably already seen it, but I'm banking on many of you have not yet. When I look at my algorithm for YouTube, most of my viewers are my age, 60s and above. So I'm betting that if you're like me, this is something kind of new to you. In my last video, I did show you the 6-day star blanket that I've been working on. I'll put a clip of it somewhere here. I should have brought it out to show you. I'm not finished with it. Obviously, it's taking me more than 6 days, but that's because I usually have more than one project going at a time. But this one, I am challenging myself to see just how much of it I can accomplish over the next few days. So I have absolutely nothing to do. Yeah, I know it's Thanksgiving, but it turns out that my son has to work. He's a firefighter paramedic, so obviously holidays, he does have to work some of those. And my daughter can't make it. So it's just me and my pets, and I've decided that I'm going to just relish in this alone time and use this time to contemplate how thankful I am that I do have the luxury to use this time. So I am going to make, we'll see if I can get it done, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I have 4 days. Probably won't complete it, but I think I'll knock out a whole bunch of it. I'm going to really try to do as much as I can. This blanket in particular, though, is going to be a holiday theme one. In the last video, I mentioned that I had seen some really beautiful yarn, Caron anniversary cake yarn. They have some holiday yarn out, and let me show you the one that I chose. So this is called Holly Jolly, and I just think it is the most fun holiday themed or looking yarn, and I thought it would be fun to make one with these colors and a holiday theme. I am going to I found that I really like the look of this with my last blanket. I used white to kind of break up some of the rows. So I did have to go out and buy some white yarn yesterday. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to start this yesterday, but I was really surprised at how thick this is. This is a super bulky yarn, a number 6, and I did not read the details. I was so infatuated with the color, I just ordered it and didn't bother looking that up. So when it came in yesterday afternoon, I was all ready to go. I wanted to get this blanket started. Then I realized that I don't really have a number 6 bulky yarn that I could use with this. I have plenty of chenille and plushy yarn, but it just didn't look right. This definitely is kind of a spun look to it. I went to Michael's and picked up some of this hometown yarn. This is just their white. I think they called it New York white. Because it's as close to this as I could find. I did see some loops and threads that was pretty close, but it had a little bit of a texture to it, so I went with this one. I think it'll look good. Now, I kind of am wondering if I have enough of the anniversary cake to make a blanket. This may end up just being a throw. I might just cut it short at 1 skein. This is, I think, exclusive to Michael's. In my Michael's store did not have it, but I did order it online. So I probably will just use the one, and I bought 3 of these, so that'll stretch it. We'll just see how big it turns out. So let's talk a minute about the whole 6-day blanket thing. If you're not familiar, it was designed by someone named Betty McNitt. She has a really great channel with just all these different variations of this blanket. It's gorgeous. But it started off with a 6-day kid blanket that she made. And I think the reason she calls it 6-day star blanket is because it's based off of that blanket, the pattern. Not necessarily that you can finish this in 6 days. Now, people have taken on the challenge and tried it, And she even has in her blog how to complete it in 6 days. You know, you have to follow, she breaks it up so that you can accomplish it in 6 days. But here's the kicker. It really does depend on what size blanket you want to make, the type of yarn you're using. For example, if I were using a number 4 weight yarn, like my other blanket, it's going to take me a lot longer to come up with the same size blanket as I'm going to be able to make with this number 6 bulky blanket. So I'm thinking there's a chance that I might be able to get this done by Sunday night, because this is such a thick yarn. It's going to go a lot faster and yield me a bigger blanket. So anyway, we'll see. We'll just see. I think the way I'm going to do this is keep a time of how long it takes me rather than how many days, because obviously there you go again. You call it a 6-day blanket, but if you stitch for 12 hours like I'm going to do today, I'm going to get a whole lot more done than if I have a day that I can only dedicate 4 or 5 hours after work. So I think it might be a little more accurate to call it, I don't know how many hours, 24-hour blanket. So I don't know. I'm just excited to see how this turns out, and I wanted to share it with you guys, because if you haven't yet come across this pattern, or if this is something that's new to you, I was having a blast with the other one. You know what? I'm gonna go get it in just a second so I can show you. It's so pretty, and it's just one of those patterns that it repeats, but it repeats, I think, really ingeniously. Like, just as you start going, oh my God, I just can't do any more of this particular stitch, then it changes to another stitch. So it's just, and I think because it has all the peaks and valleys of the star, it really just keeps you engaged, and I've had a blast making it. So we will see if I still feel the same after this blanket today. Like I said, I am going to just dedicate the next couple of days to doing this. I don't have anything else to do. Well, yes, I do, but I'm not going to. My last video, I keep referring back to that one because I came up with this phrase or a word that I use a lot to explain why I have so many projects that are undone around the house here. I call it procrastinating, because I sit down and crochet rather than take care of my chores. So I am going to procrastinate the next couple of days and see what I can do with this, and use making this video as my excuse for not getting those chores done. So I cannot go through this video step by step with you, obviously, because it's Betty's pattern. And I would encourage you to watch her channel. She has so many tutorials that take you step by step, live crochet alongs and things to help you. Or you can use her blog, which is what I did. I mean, I was doing both. I did do a lot of the video, but then I did go to her blog site because the pattern is written out. Because, you know, there's all these ads and things, and trying to find your spot on the page can be difficult. So what I did was I just cut and pasted the pattern onto my paper so that I had something to follow. So if I don't stop all this talking, I will never get this thing started. It is about 8:20 in the morning. All right, guys, so I did run and grab the star blanket that I've been working on. Isn't it just so pretty? I love it. One thing that I will point out to you is the center, the startup round. What does she call that? Might be startup. Setup round. Okay, the setup round is the center of your star blanket. I think it's like 9 rounds. And then once you finish those 9 rounds for your startup, then you start the pattern repeat, where it just repeats itself. I think it's 6 rounds per repeat. Anyway, something that I'm going to try to fix this time around, you can't really see it here, but the center kind of puckers out a little bit, and they talk about this I've seen other people talk about it being an issue. So she mentions that you should start with your hook size, you size up about a size or so from what your yarn calls for. And then you're going to size up if your edges start to curl. So the edges of your blanket here can start to curl up, and if that happens, you need to switch up by half to a full size hook. Now, I didn't have that problem with mine, but what I think might be the issue why the center is puckering is that these stitches along the outside here are a little tighter than the bigger stitches in the center. The stitches in the center here are clusters, and I think they're just a looser stitch, or maybe I just crochet them looser. So I think what I'll do is make my center setup, and then I'm going to right away just bump it up a size. I did not do that. I kept the same size, and my edges just are not really curling. They're starting maybe just a tiny bit, but I think it looks great. I'm not worried about this little bit here. So I don't know. Mine's working out great. I'm loving it. But the changes I'm going to make, like I said, are I'm going to start with my yarn ball here. The Caron cake says start with an 8. So I think I'm just going to automatically, well, maybe I will try 8. I'm going to try 8, and then I'm going to bump up after my setup to a 9. And I do have a 10 on standby in case I need to go larger. The other thing that I'm trying to determine is the center here, and I kind of wish I had planned it a little better, I guess. I don't know, I'm kind of a perfectionist, that I would like this all to be one color before it starts changing. And I think that had I started my yarn at a color change rather than just wherever it was, that might not be the case. So I used a Caron cake, oh here it is, Blossom Cakes, for this one. This is all I've got left of my first skein here. I've got all this done, so I'm going to have this in 2 skeins easy. I did break it up with some white. I like the way the white kind of helps to just break up the color so it's not too busy, and it gives it a little bit more of a delineated look. I just like that. So anyway, you can maybe control the color a little bit, but I just like the way this flows and gives me that variegated or color changing look without actually having all those yucky ends. So to weave in. I'm kind of contemplating how I'm going to start this one. I did get the yarn started to pull. The center was yucky, but I'm not crazy about this gray color to start it with, but I don't want to waste all of this because I only have the 1 skein. So I think I might make my center white and make white more prominent in the blanket. I'm trying to envision what that might look like, but I may go with white to start. I have 3 of these skeins. Each skein is 162 yards, so that is what, 162, about 480 or so, maybe close to 500 yards of this, and then I have, again, that's what, 1,000 yards of the other. So anyway, I'll do some math and figure it out so it's spread out nicely. But something I wanted to point out, because this is a kind of a frustration of mine, and I bet yours too, but not far into my skein here, I go from the gray to the green already. I've got a factory knot. It kind of stinks. I mean, the skeins are not cheap. I did get a pretty good deal. I think I ended up paying like $26 or $27 at Michael's for my skein. It was it 30% off, and then I get a teacher discount? I don't know. Anyway, but originally they're $39.99, I believe. So yeah, that kind of stinks to have that right away in your work. But anywho, here I'm yammering. It's 8:30 now. I haven't started yet. Okay, I'm starting. I'm going to start. 8:30. Perfect. I like starting on that. Easy number to remember. So I've got my notes, I've got my yarn, I've got my TV, I've got my remote, I've got my coffee. I'm good to go. I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so I am going to be switching back and forth between cameras here. This is my phone camera just because I'll show you. Switching around back and forth for my other camera is going to be a hassle. So forgive me for the difference in the way it may look or sound, but I did just finish the first 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds in my setup round, and I'm going to change colors now. I think this kind of looks like a snowflake, so I'm going to stop here with my white and I'm going to start adding in my color. I am also going to change my hook size. I'm going to go up 1. This is an 8. I'm going to go to a 9 now. This, when it lays flat, when I lay it down, it's not curling, but while I was holding it, you can kind of see the stitches were getting a little snug. So I'm going to go ahead and switch now. Her suggestion is just to start with a hook size larger, and I didn't. So I think I better do it now. I'm also watching the video that she has that goes along with this, and it really helped explain the written directions. So I highly recommend doing that. She goes nice and slowly. I'm able to stitch right along at a great pace. So I'll go ahead and link her tutorial down below because it's really, really helpful. All right, guys, so it has been 2 hours. It's 10:30, and I have completed my setup round. That's rounds 1 through 9. And I will show you what it looks like. I'm going to try to do like they do in the TikTok videos. You ready? Well, kind of anticlimactic. Oh, I have my tails still hanging here, but okay, so there it is. It doesn't look as pretty in the camera as it does in person, I think. Looks like my edges are kind of curling, but when I lie it down, they lay flat. I'll try to get a video of it laying flat. From here out now, we're just going to be repeating the the repeat. It's rounds 2 through, gosh, I'll double check here. How many? I think it's 6 rounds. 2 through 7, it says. So anyway, and we just keep on repeating that section 2 through 7. You can see my blanket here. And what I did was, I think I might have mentioned it earlier, I'll double check as I'm editing, but every 4th round I added white. I don't know if I want to do that with this one or how I'm going to space it, but look at the difference in the setup round. Okay, this blanket, okay, here's the end of the setup round for this one here. Okay, and look how much bigger this one is. It's like twice as big already. So I may be able to finish this in 6 days just because I'm using such a thicker yarn. Anyway, I'm going to get back at it, and I will check in a bit and see how much farther I've gotten. All right, guys, it is now 2:30 in the afternoon. That means I have spent a total of 6 hours working on my blanket. Technically, I have completed what Betty says you should do in your first day. That's the setup rounds 1 through 9, and then 1 round of repeats. I think I'm saying that correctly. That's rounds 2 through 7. So if you are following the way she has mapped it out to be able to do the blanket in 6 days, I'm technically done. Now, I'm going to keep on going just because I have the time and I have nothing else to do. We've talked about that. I'm not going to go there again. I have things to do. I'm not going to do them though. I've enjoyed my Thanksgiving so far. I know some people might think, what, are you crazy? You're by yourself. You're not with family. It's okay. This will be the first year ever in my adult life that I have not cooked a Thanksgiving meal. And honestly, it sounds selfish, but I'm kind of enjoying it because it's so much work. And I can't tell you how much food goes to waste on Thanksgiving for us here. I'll make a big meal. My son and his now wife will come by and they just nibble a little bit and then go to her folks' house because they have to, make the rounds. And I just put so much work and money and time, and so much food goes to waste. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think the sentiment behind Thanksgiving is what's important, and I'm just incredibly thankful for my life as it is right now. I really enjoy having time to crochet, taking care of my pets. It's just, I'm at a good place, so I'm extremely thankful. I'm very thankful that I have what I need. Not in excess by any means, but I'm happy, I'm content. All right, enough mushy stuff. Let me show you where we're at. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to do the whole TikTok reveal. This is what your blanket would look like if you complete day 1. Ta-da! Okay, pretty nice. I'm loving this. This is pretty big already, and I think that's, again, because I'm using this bulky yarn. So I'm feeling pretty good about being able to finish this by the time I go back to work on Monday. I'll keep going. I might check in again tonight to show you what I accomplished by the end, or it might just wait till morning. We'll see. And keep in mind that that 6 hours included time getting up, having a snack, texting and messaging of people for Thanksgiving and having conversations with family that isn't local, and trying to find Dwight. I let him roam around the house because he was just getting too crazy in his enclosure, wanting to get out, and he loves to explore, and I thought he got out. I set up baby gates and things around the area that I'm in so that I don't lose him in the house, and I thought I did, but he was just hiding in a good spot, so we're all good there. But that took some time away, me tracking him down. So so far this is doable, and my advice is to use the bulky yarn. I'm loving the way this is coming out, so I will check back in with you soon. All right, guys, so it is now 8:30, just a little bit past 8:30. I finished the last round of the second rows of repeats, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this correctly, but the second group of repeats. Okay, so I am going to do my little reveal and show you what it looks like so far. I hope I can get it to all on the screen here. Are you ready? This is 12 hours worth of work. Look at this. It's really something else, huh? It's the first time I've seen it all rolled out too. I'm looking in the camera with you here. Look at that. That's pretty big for 12 hours worth of work, I think. And let me show you how much yarn I've still got left. Look at this. I mean, granted, with each row, it uses a lot more yarn. It's taking me a lot longer now to complete a row because it's getting so big. So I can only imagine as this thing grows how much yarn it's going to use and how long it's going to take for each row. So this could be a little deceiving, thinking I got so much done in 12 hours. But I'm pretty pleased with my first day. I mean, 12 hours. I like it. We'll see how it goes after tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is approximately 7 o'clock on Friday, the next day. I am just sitting down to get to work on my blanket. Technically, I would be on day 3 if I were following Betty's plan to complete the blanket in 6 days. Yesterday, I did the setup rounds. I did the first round of repeats, or the first repeat of rounds. I can't get it straight. Anyway, that's what she expects you to do on the first day. The second day is another round of the repeats, which I completed. So technically today would be day 3. I am just going to keep on crocheting today. I will check in with you and kind of give you little updates here and there. But I should be good to go for a bit. I've got coffee, my candle going, I've got Netflix, I'm all comfy on my couch. So I will check in a little bit. So I wanted to check in. Here is the blanket after, how many hours? Let's see, it's about 1 o'clock-ish, close to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I did take a little bit of time out. I had to repair my toilet. That had to be a chore I needed to take care of today. So I don't know, maybe it took me 30 minutes or so out of the day. I did also have to frog this or rip it out a couple of times. I hate to admit, but I did. So that also added some time to my work. So, you know, Betty does say to take your work out, and she uses the term admire it. I really love the way she does that, but I have not gotten off the couch and laid out the work until just now. One piece of advice I would give you, and if I were to do this again, I would definitely do some color controlling here at the beginning. I'm kind of disappointed the way this has come out right here, that it doesn't look nice, because when you step back, the rest of the blanket does look, you know, the stripes kind of, it's not as noticeable, I guess I should say, the color changes. So, you know, that is kind of something I would work on, and I would advise for you, if you do make this using the anniversary cake yarn, definitely do some color controlling in the beginning. There's plenty of yarn that you're okay if you choose to do that. So I want to stretch my legs and lay out my work, and I'm going to take time right now to sew in some of these ends just to kind of give my hands a break. Okay guys, so I just finished repeat 3. It took me about 8 hours or so to do this repeat. I have taken a few breaks here and there. I've crocheted at kind of a casual pace. I didn't want to, you know, stress myself out. I'm just at a normal pace of crochet. So let me show you what I've done. This would be, again, repeat 3 or day 3 complete. And I'm going to have to stand up on my couch so that you can see this. It is getting big. All right, are you ready? Ta-da! Look at this. That's really something. If I hold it at my shoulders, it just wants to touch the ground. I haven't, I hope you can hear me over my mic here. I haven't measured it, but I'm guessing it's probably at least 5 feet. And when I hold it out stretched, oh wow, it's exactly my arm's width. And I have, oh gosh, I don't want this to get all knotted up now on me, but it's kind of getting flat. But I have this much of the anniversary cake left. So I probably will get another repeat in, I'm guessing. So that's that. Well, yeah, I'll be adding some white too. By the way, I have finished up just about, this is all I have left of my first skein of white. So now that the rounds are getting so big, it's anybody's guess. I have no clue. I don't know why I'm even trying to guesstimate for you. All right, so I'm going to take a little break, and I will probably continue tonight. I mean, I've got some time, some daylight going, so I'll keep on crocheting and keep you posted. Well, good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday. This makes the start of day 3 on my 6-day star blanket. I'll be honest, I feel like I probably will have it finished today. So I'm going to get right to work. It is about 20 minutes to 8. So guys, I wanted to show you how much yarn I've got left of that cake today. I think that's probably going to be just enough to get me around one more time on the blanket here. So I'm probably on my last row here of my blanket. Now I want to share with you too a tip that might be helpful when you are coming into your valley. You've got your peaks of your star, the corners here, and the valley. sometimes it's hard to know because you have to skip to which stitch to put your last stitch in here. What I have found to be helpful is, of course, having the written pattern so that you can follow the stitch count. Betty does a really great job of writing out stitch counts for every row. To confirm that I'm doing it correctly, what I will do a lot of times is just kind of go back and find my corner. You put 5 in a corner, let's say, for this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, look at that. How crazy is this? I'm sitting here filming and I just found a boo-boo. Thank God I'm not too far along here. Oh my God, there should be 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I sure did mess up. Okay, well, there you go. Just to show you that mistakes can be made through here, and that is something that you've got to plan for when you're working, that you could miss a stitch, get distracted, miss your count, and you'll have to frog it, and that does add quite a bit of time. So do as Betty says, and frequently check your work. Boy, I'm so glad I did that. That is going to be a problem later on. So let me frog this and I'll get back with you. Wow, how lucky was that I decided to pick up and record right now. All right, let me frog this out and I will get back with you. Okay, so I have gone ahead and checked my count and now we're good. So what I was saying is that Betty's written pattern is super great at putting stitch counts for every row where you should be, and it's so important that you do check it. When you're making something this size with so many stitches, if you find that you've made an error early on in your round, you've got so much to rip out, and that's going to just really slow you down if you are trying to get this done on a time schedule. So really go back and double check. That was a perfect example. You can see my corner is much more peaked here than it was when I only had the 4 stitches in that corner. So make sure that you're counting. Count back and forth to make sure your stitches are placed correctly. What is that saying? A stitch in time saves 9. So this is definitely an example where that's true. Okay, so here is an example of what I was trying to say earlier. I'm at my corner and I need to determine where I'm going to place my cluster in this corner of 5, right? So rather than having to go back and count all the way this line or this row, if you go to the end of your cluster, so let's see, this is the last of the 5, and count back 3, 1, 2, 3, that's the center, okay? So it can get confusing when you have so many stitches in your row to find where you're going to place your next cluster, rather than having to start all the way on the end to count your stitches, because trust me, to keep count of each and every stitch along the row, your brain's just going to be counting constantly. So it's not realistic to count every single row and every stitch as you go. So this just kind of is a way to make it a little quicker. Just find your cluster, find the last stitch in your cluster of 5, count back 3, 1, 2, 3. One thing that I'm noticing and I'm loving about using this yarn and this bigger hook, this is an N size hook or 10 millimeter hook, is that I don't need to wear my glasses while I'm doing this. So I can comfortably watch TV and do my crochet without having to do the granny, look through the tops of my glasses here. So that's a bonus. Okay guys, so I am taking a minute to ball up my yarn, what's left of it. This is what's left of the cake, and it is going to end up being just a tangled up mess if I don't get control of it now. So I'm taking a few minutes to ball up my yarn, and I'm at a point now where I am curious, because my rounds are so big, if I'm going to have enough of this yarn to complete a full round. So I'm going to share with you a trick that can help you determine that if you do a little planning ahead, because nobody likes a game of yarn chicken, especially when you've got a project this big. A trick that can help you estimate is to weigh your yarn. Okay, so what I'm going to do is first figure out how much yarn I have left. Okay, so I'm going to use a kitchen scale, and I'm going to zero out my scale. Right now it says 0. I'm going to put my yarn ball in there, and it says I have 173 grams of yarn left. What I'm going to do is crochet 1 peak here. So after I crochet this peak, I'm going to come back and weigh my yarn again and find out how much yarn I used for this peak. All right, guys, so I crocheted 1 peak. Let me go ahead and zero out my scale again. I'm going to weigh everything in there. All right, we're at 162 minus 160. All right, 11 times 6 is 66. So I have plenty. Look at the blanket. It's going down to my toes. It is plenty wide. I mean, look at this. But I'm not 100% done though, because I haven't decided how I'm going to finish the edge. This is the last round of the repeat 4 repeats. So technically it would be day 4. I just have to decide what kind of edging I want to put on it. I'm thinking maybe the white. I'm not sure, but it is super comfy and cozy. I mean, it's the perfect throw for your couch and cuddle with movies or whatever. So yes, this blanket can be done definitely in 6 days or less. I mean, if you use the thicker, bulkier, super bulky yarn and really just work. I mean, golly, this has just been not even 2.5 days worth of work right here. All right, let me figure out my border and I will do the grand finale. I just made a very simple single crochet border. I kind of hemmed and hawed over what I might like to do, and I thought, you know what, I don't want to put anything on the border that's going to take away from the rest of the blanket. So I went with a very plain border. I might go back and do something else, add something more later, but I'm pretty pleased with it as it is. So let's measure. And I'm not sure the best way to give you a measurement, but I'm going to go from one side straight through the center and to the point here, and that is 54 inches, okay? So 54 inches across, that would be what, 4.5 feet? And then from point to point, we're right at 60, so that's 5 feet across. So point to point is 5 feet, shallowest point to widest point is 54 inches, narrowest to narrow is 45 inches. All in all, pretty pleased with my blanket here.